Okay, Jack Lamb's calling and start that. Jack Lamb's calling in. We want to get a record of uh, Kat and Jack staying at Chuck and Kathy Edge's place. We're going to document all that. So let me call Jack right now.
Hey, John.
Hey, Jack, you got a few minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. I want to put Kat on the phone because I want both y'all. Yeah, I need to, like just understand exactly the whole thing on Thanksgiving. So let me put Kat on the phone because Kathy's made some allegations that Kat wasn't even supposed to be in her house. She's worried about the pictures that were taken in her house. There's some really crazy stuff. So let me add Kat to the call.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get to Kat real quick. Wait a minute. Where's Kat's number? There she is. Okay, hang on, Jack.
Hello.
Okay, I'm merging you and Jack.
Okay, cool.
Okay, okay, Kat and Jack, you guys are on the phone together with me, and you got Jack here. We're just documenting stuff. We're just documenting our stuff so we know what's going on. Trying to figure it all out. So, okay, so Kat and Jack. Here we go. How crazy. Okay, so let's start with you guys headed down to the Ark for Thanksgiving. I don't know what year or whatever, but uh, what?
11/21.
Okay, 11/21. Okay, you mean yeah, okay, you mean 2021, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 11/21. You mean 2020, 11, and whatever, November of 2021, right? Okay, got it. Now, so you guys, Jack, you went and picked up Cat in North. Okay, and then y'all drove her. Did y'all stop at Chuck's place on the way down?
No. No, I think we did that on the way back. I informed Kathy before we even started the trip. We're doing that. And I didn't see her down there. But she said, yeah, Kat was more than welcome to stay at the house.
So Kathy Edge did say that. Oh, of course, Kat's welcome at her house, right?
Yeah, she said that was welcome to stay too. And I was and she was real with that call was made to be a witness that she that's sure I'd love to have it.
Okay, so Kat, that's not what Kathy Edge is saying online, is it?
No.
Yeah, so I put your little email thing in a new folder called Whitestones. We're starting a new folder of stuff that's more fun than all the Richard Montbleu stuff. But
What's the skin in her spirit?
well, let me just tell you some of the weird stuff that's being said. Chuck made a comment online that Jonny, your minions better not be post. You better not be posting any pictures your minions took of my house because it's a crime to show where any retired law enforcement lives, and people can find the longitude and latitude from the picture.
It's like
Yeah, from inside. Yeah, and I was like, all right, well, that's pretty weird. They obviously. So Kat apparently had asked Kathy when she was there. Kathy had shown her craft room, and Kat asked, "Hey, Kat, you know what? Kat, you just tell us what happened. I'm not. You tell us what happened."
we were sitting there, Jack. Were you sitting there too when she was showing me her craft room? And later we were sitting at the table, and you called, and I think I had you on speakerphone, and you go, "Oh, I'd love to." I said she has a picture she painted too. Oh, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see her craft room. Yeah, may have, yeah. And I said, do you mind if I, go send some pictures? She goes, no. But she had a weird look on her face. I just can't.
So you asked Kathy Edge, "Can I go take some pictures of your craft room?" Did she call it? Okay. Did she call it her craft room? Who calls it the craft room?
She called it her craft room.
Okay.
My craft room, yeah.
So that's the room that you went in and photographed that's got the big thing hanging on the ceiling that looks like a big eye, and then It says "Welcome to Patmos" behind the headboard of the bed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had mouse shit in the bed.
And
Right, yeah.
and then Kat, well, tell us about when you were there. Didn't she tell you like, well, you could sleep in that room, but there's scorpions or something, maybe?
Yeah, she goes, you can sleep in the crack room, but you might have spiders and scorpions that you have to deal with. And I go, no thanks.
So where did you end up sleeping?
Well, then she offered the room over the garage, and that had mice feces all over the bed and pee. And
Oh,
I
okay.
said, nah, no thanks. And then she said, well, then we walked back downstairs. She goes, well, you could sleep on the James lounge, but that's pretty much the dog's bed. And I said, no thanks. And I think every time she offered something, I said, I'll just sleep in the car. I don't care. It'll work.
Hey, but she knew that you were going to come stay as a guest. Is that right?
Yeah, she knew. I told her way ahead. I don't drop tongues on people.
Yeah. So she's online being very disingenuous and lying about that. So that's nothing. That would be nothing you should ever lie. Why would someone lie about something so trivial?
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Okay. So then let me jump to another thing. So Jack, you had written in a long letter. You sent me a copy of it, but without I don't have the letter in front of me, but I know that Chuck Edge was kind of battering you. Like, whose team are you on? Basically, does that sound right?
Right.
So did you? So you wrote out a long letter. It took you. I remember it took you several days.
Yeah, it took me came over the course of 3 days. It was just the Lord delivered it onto my soul. And I would write it down, and my writing looks like shorthand, and then Mary transcribed it, so it's legible. If I write you a letter, and Langley FBI can't break the letter.
I got it. So you wrote it, and then between you and Mary helped you like penmanship nice, and then you sent
The penmanship. Those were the words. The words the Lord delivered on my heart. Because when I sat down to write it, first thing that the Lord put on my heart is, look, don't go in swinging like it's a bar fight, Jack. Go in and do it with love. You got to say it with love,
all right.
or it won't be perceived.
I gotcha. So, but after you sent it, I vaguely recall that I think you told me that somewhere out there, maybe Karen or Kathy or someone said that you didn't write that I wrote it. Does that sound right?
Yeah, Kathy, I think somewhere in one of the slip times on something, she said that those weren't my words. That you had dictated those words to me. That's your language.
Okay, so so that's Kathy basically saying that you're being fraudulent on your letter that you wrote to them.
Well, yeah, she's saying that it was your words. But if you and I follow the same God, doesn't He talk to us both in the same way?
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying. She's trying to allege that I had you write a letter that I wanted you to write. Is that in any way, shape, or form true or not true?
You didn't have me write it. You didn't have me write it.
Yeah.
And she kind of got pissy because I didn't direct it to her. Wasn't her asking questions. And I was directed to Chuck because Chuck was the one asking questions. Who I say Kathy's a witch? Whose team am I on? This, that, and the other. He was the one answering the questions, so I was answering his questions with what the Lord told me to answer them with.
Right. Okay. So now, after all this craziness, what's your opinion about Karen and Kathy and Chuck? Or do you believe that they're people that tell the truth or not?
You have any real estate in my head anymore.
I gotcha. All right, Kat, what about you?
No.
All right, and Kat, your experience with Chuck and Kathy and Karen, what's your opinion?
They do not tell the truth at all.
Okay. So all right. So I'm just crossing my T's, dotting my I's, making a record of everything we do here, because these people are making allegations that they've been lying since the ark closed. They took in a bunch of money, threw a bunch of people out. Oh, here's another thing. Yeah, Jack, didn't you tell me that you were having some drinks with Chuck at his place, and then he just started?
first time I met Chuck, we pulled up on the list, and of course, I'll take a drink every now and then. I don't do
Sure, there's nothing wrong with a drink.
kind of a win for me, maybe three, after he has a couple of drinks, he gets to say what's really on his heart, and he was talking about Jim, and he was saying, that he didn't believe, Kathy was telling him, but Chuck was saying he didn't believe it. He said he's always been out looking for a quick buck, a way to make a fast buck, and at work he jumped from, six, I'll try, pencils this week. Next week I'll sell cars, and the next week I repair roofs. Just anything to try to make a buck. He won't stay with something and hone his skills in it.
But
That's what he was alluding to. And then later on, when Shannon went down and visited, he regurgitated the same thing. I told Shannon about it. And after he had a couple of drinks, lo and behold, here comes Chuck. And it was just like he pulled a script out and was rereading it, just the same thing I told Shannon that he told me. He was telling Shannon and Rich.
right, and so I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember that I heard it was like Chuck's talking about him like he's a get rich quick schemer type thing.
Right. That's the gist that I took away from it. Jim's looking for something like while the iron's hot and run away with a handful of money on it.
So that's what Chuck was saying.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Chuck Edge, Kathy's husband.
Right.
I got you. Okay. Like I said, I want to make sure I understand every single thing. And Shannon, who is a former police officer, correct?
Right.
She said the same thing on her drive down. She drove down with Chuck from where to where?
No, Chuck, that was at Chuck's house.
Oh, that was at Chuck's. Oh, wow.
Her and Rich, Shannon and Rich were down for something. They visited, and Chuck had a couple of drinks, started right into the same thing that I told Shannon. Hey, this is what Chuck said about Jim Sullivan. And it's like he took off telling Shannon the same story he told me,
Okay. So what was Mary saying?
She was just saying that she took pictures of everybody. No, this we weren't there on that time, man.
I got you.
Shannon had visited Texas. We weren't there that time.
I got it.
I'm talking about.
But you guys because Chuck, Chuck's making these things. Oh, you better not show any pictures of my house. That's illegal. No, it's not. So what we did, and he's calling y'all my minions. That's what he said. You better tell your minions. I didn't invite you to Chuck's place, did I?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Don't show that picture of that raccoon in my pants. I don't want everybody to zoom in on.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I think it's pretty weird. Why doesn't he want people to see pictures of Kathy's craft room? Maybe because it's got an eye on the ceiling and it's got "Welcome to Patmos" on the wall and hexagrams on the bed. Yeah.
I'm sure everybody in Milford knows what that picture is, right?
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, kind of crazy. So what we did is Dave created different files for those pictures and re-screenshotted them and made sure there was no, metadata associated with them. That way I can use them in a video and say, okay, well, why does Kathy have an eyeball on her ceiling? Why does she have "Welcome to Patmos," which is where John was exiled to? And why does she have a bed underneath it? Arise, O sleeper, wake up from the dead. It's very, it would be a very demonic, thing to me. If I were to look at it, I'd say that's one evil thing. Why would you have an eye on the ceiling? There's an eye on the ceiling in the Vatican. That was
and scorpions and
yeah. Why is she saying you'll get stung by scorpions? I mean, it's just all pretty crazy. It's pretty fascinating. It's pretty. I mean, who cares about your craft room? You don't want someone to see it. That's why everyone's going to get to see it because they seem to care about it.
Right. I called Chuck Cassie during that storm when I was bringing Lee and Dave down there to see, tell them where I was at to see where the next little town was, where we could get a room, because everybody was running out of power in that area we were in. Restaurant,
Yeah, I remember.
everything.
Yeah.
They invited us to their house. I said, "Where you at?" Where we're at. They said, "Oh, you're just like 20, 30 minutes from the house." He said, I'll just bring you, I'll just give you directions. You can come in the back road." He invited us during that storm, so it'll be the next thing. They'll start, just show up on somebody's doorstep like a lonely cat.
I got you. So every time you were there, you were invited by them.
Yes.
Okay.
Kathy always said, you got a bedroom here anytime you want it. I never just walked up like I was her pushing buttons.
So then I remember one more story. Like they said they saw you sitting on the side of the road crying, and they drove right by you. What was that again?
The storm, when I went up, tried to help with her plumbing, and I left. And yeah, she said that she put in there, and I think on June levels, Chuck left right after me going to town and saw me sit beside the road crying. "Why were you crying, Jack? Was it because that you knew that your mission to destroy us and bring us down had succeeded?" Well, wait a minute. The timeline is way the hell off, because that was when I first brought me and Dave out. Everything was copacetic in the yard. Wow.
Oh wow! So she
was screwed up on that. She hit the bed wide awake on that.
So she said you had pulled over and you were sitting there crying on the side of the road?
Crying because I knew that my underhand work for you succeeded, and I had not so that kind of.
Oh my.
I hadn't even taken place. Everything was cool. You were fixing a place for Dave and Lee down at the yard while I was bringing them thing in the street.
Yeah.
If I'm your brother, if you put a shit about me, when you drove by and I was sitting beside the road following my ass, what do you say? "Oh God, maybe he's lost somebody," or.
Yeah, okay, so she alleges that you were sitting on the side of the road crying because your mission to bring her and Chuck down didn't succeed, and you had been...
Did succeed. Did I come and sowed the seeds of disharmony?
Shit. So you were sitting there...
But it tore me up.
So she's saying that you were sitting there on the side of the road crying because you knew that you had gone in and you had caused whatever discord. You had been sent as an agent by me to cause crap in their world. That's what she said.
Yeah, I think she printed it in Gene Rebel. I think you're the one that sent me that email.
Yeah, well, is
that timeline fucked up? Because hell broke loose like a year and a half later.
Yeah, isn't that fascinating? That sounds that sounds a little delusional. So Chuck saw you crying, but he didn't pull over to see what was wrong?
Oh no, they just went on,
Well, were you sitting there crying on the side of the road?
No, get a valley map. I don't cry really.
So everything she said is false, then I guess
125% false.
Well, that would make her a complete liar then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Stone cold liar.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, like I said, I'm just documenting everything I can. I want everything. I want everyone to have a statement. I want everything to be part of the record. And then I'm going to use this because I need to deal with these lunatics. These people are delusional, man. And I've had enough of their...
I don't haul water for no. Somebody says to me, I don't haul water for other people. If you mess with a friend of mine, I may have to let it back out of the box.
Well, yeah, well, do me a favor, just keep Jack in the box, and let's let the Lord sort all this out. Then, are you guys okay with? So you guys are totally good with all this. I've just documented the whole thing.
Yeah,
Cat,
it's all bullshit, lies.
Cat. Okay, cool beans. All right, well then I'll probably make all this available to the public, and we're gonna put it in the file, and then keep moving forward. The good news is Richard Montblu's safe, and he's with someone that he's comfortable with. He's been to several police departments, and it looks like a lot of people are starting to scramble now. Those guys have gotten very quiet. The Kathy, Karen, Chuck, and Jim Sullivan, and those people have gotten very quiet. Very interesting.
Wow.
All right. Well, thanks very much, guys, for having the phone call. And let me document it.
All right.
All right, guys. Love you guys. I'll call you guys a little bit later. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up with just a summary. So that's Jack Lamb and Kat Young. Those are their testimonies. They knew they were being recorded. I told them I was documented. They knew it. They're okay with me sharing it with the public, so I'm going to share this with the public. Everybody, y'all decide for yourself. Is Jonathan Kleck lying, or is it Karen and Kathy and company? Who's lying? All right. There you go.